Hey, Beatle Brunchers, it's Joe Johnson. Once again, we are all Fab Fourantined inside our homes and apartments and wherever, family, parents. But as we're doing that, it gives us a chance to go through some of our stuff, kind of take stock of our lives, spend time with friends and family. And for a lot of Beatle fans, organize your collection, kind of alphabetize things, put stuff together, take a re-listen to something you haven't seen, check out some books and items that you haven't dealt with before. This kind of is, if you get a shot of the CDs over here, this is kind of my CD side of the collection, mostly interviews and official stuff. And then over here, as we talked about on the first time I did the Fab Fourantined, we had some books, and I neglected to mention videotapes and DVDs, and then what's left in my album collection from the big old days. But wanted to share a couple of cool things with you. In 2001, McCartney put out a book called Blackbird Singing, and it was basically a lot of his song lyrics, sort of like the George Harrison book we previewed the other day, or post-viewed the other day. And again, limited amounts of them came signed. So I happened to get one of Blackbird Singing, and you can see it's number 193 there. Paul McCartney signed it, so that's kind of cool. So that's in my collection. I'm going to try to put that back, maybe in a few minutes when I'm not so crazy. And I thought this weekend, too, if you're watching this when I'm recording it, it was Record Store Day, originally going to be Record Store Day today on the 18th when I'm taping this. But it's been pushed back to June. But it reminds me, I did get this on a previous Record Store Day. It's these singles by the Beatles. Let's see, Ticket to Ride, Yellow Submarine, Hey Jude, Something Come Together, limited edition package. I've never even opened it. Same thing with the John Lennon singles bags. I don't think I opened this. This was from a Record Store Day a couple of years ago, limited edition. So that's kind of one of the couple of the items in my collection. But since we're talking about records, I was going through my old records and I happened to find a couple of things I just wanted to share with you. Non-Beatles in a certain way. My sister, I have two sisters, Irene and Margaret. And of course, my name is Joe, and I happened to find each of our early singles. So my sister Irene, you can see her initials there, IJ. She bought Carole King's So Far Away. That's pretty classy. Purchased for a 14-year-old at the time. My other sister, Margaret Johnson, she bought Me and You and a Dog Named Boo. All I can tell you is my sister raises Springer Spaniels, and she loves dogs, so that maybe was the reason. And no judging. JJ, that's me, bought They Long to Be Close to You by the Carpenters. It was probably a premonition because the Carpenters went on to have a hit with Ticket to Ride. So I just thought I'd throw that in there. Speaking of albums and CDs, I'll bet you've never seen this because I never saw it until it came to me. In 2005, Paul McCartney came out with an album, Chaos and Creation in the Backyard, which I thought was fantastic. I had an opportunity to interview him. So the record company sent me the CD back before there was really internet translation and transmission of the CDs and albums like there is today. So they didn't want anyone to steal it. So they put, instead of Paul McCartney, they put Pete Mitchell, Chaos and Creation of the Backyard. And then if you just look at the CD, inside somewhere along there, you can see Joe Johnson, Westwood One, Pete Mitchell. So, that was I guess they were afraid people would steal the CD and, off my desk or whatever. So anyway, that's kind of my, some of my record collection tidbits and items. I love my Paul McCartney autograph and this Pete Mitchell CD. Now, I got an email today from one of the guys of Firefall, the band Firefall in the 70s, Jock Bartley, and he told me, which I never knew, that in the mid-90s, Firefall put out a CD called Boulder to Liverpool. It was Firefall Acoustic, and it was Beatles tunes. So I said, hey, would you please send me a couple? I'd like to feature them on Beatle Brunch. So I thought this one, out of the 10 that he sent me, is pretty much for the Fab Fourantined. It's kind of like we're in and we'll be back, and I want you to hear a little piece of this. So let's just see this. I'll Be Back by Firefall. Real nice.
If you break my heart, I'll go, but I'll be back again.
Fantastic CDs. We're going to spotlight some of those on an upcoming Beatle Brunch. I'll be back. I am, on behalf of Pete Mitchell, I will be back, and you can see the faders have all faded away there. So don't fade away yourself. I'll see you next time on the Fab Fourantined Show.